you go from, I personally would say, from before the shoulder to the tip of the nose. So say the shoulder's here. I'm measuring from the shoulder to the tip of the nose. And I say, right, there is where the tip of the nose is. Mark it. You get used to it over time, you nearly just know where it is. But as you begin, mark it with a bit of marker or tape, and then you say, that's how far down it's going to go. Happy days. So you know that much. It's in the esophagus. If it's in the esophagus as well, there's some people say from point of elbow to tip of nose. That has a risk of overreaching and putting the fluid that you're giving in into the wrong compartment, because remember, the rumen isn't developed yet. So when you get to that point, you have it, you've got your measurement, you're all well and good. Then you're going to restrain the calf. You want to restrain the calf in a manner that they're not getting worked up, because then there's risks there of damaging the throat and whatever. So if you're on your own, back them into a corner. You either stand astride or just stand to the side of them, whatever way you feel you're most secure with them. Now I'm right-handed, so I would use the right hand to feed the tube in, but my non-dominant hand is the one that, this is the tip, this is the thing you cannot go wrong with. Feel for their windpipe, and their windpipe is exactly like yours. It has ridges on it, and you're like, okay, that's their windpipe. Be familiar of it beforehand. When you're feeling it, when you feed the tube in, now some people lubricate the end. I would just dip it in the colostrum. You put it in, so when you're feeding in, it gets to the back of the throat, they'll gulp. That's their natural reflex kicks in. Oh, I better gulp, and you give it a gulp. When you're feeding that down in, as it's there, you can feel it with your non-dominant hand. You're feeling that windpipe. And if it's going into the esophagus, if it's going into the tube, into the stomach where it's meant to be, you're going to feel a second tube coming down. And as it's come down, you'll feel it. And then if there's two, this is the vital thing. This is the no-fail method. If there is two tubes in the stomach, so one, the windpipe, and this is also vital, two tubes, one the windpipe, the second one is always to the left-hand side, and that is the esophagus. Then you know you're in the right one. If it's only one tube and there's a tube going somewhere, that tube's going right down into the lungs. So there you have the risk. What's the risk? You're going to drown the calf, and you don't want that to happen for obvious reasons. So you have it in the right place. You then, in this instance, I would unclip it. This would be clipped beforehand. And unclip it, gravity flow it in, resist the urge to squeeze or to really force it in too quick a speed. You then would have it in, it's in, if it's, let's say your bottle feeder's that, you can kink it at the end before you draw it out. Never ever, never just pull that out and be like, it'll be grand, I'll chance it, because there could just be that little bit of fluid at the end. You've given the colostrum or you've given the electrolytes. You're doing everything you want to do to make sure this calf stays healthy, and for the sake of just kinking it or clipping that off, it makes sure that any fluid that's in there, it doesn't get inhaled at the very last minute and you end up with aspiration pneumonia.